Hello, my name is Angie, and I'm an independent creative memories advisor from Michigan. And today we're going to recreate a sketch from the Creative Memories blog, which came out this past fall sometime. And we are going to take an Easter spin on it, and I'm going to create it for um, Easter basket pictures of my three kiddos. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop real quick and let that load. All right, so let's move this. And I truly have a hodgepodge of things to create this layout with. I have a little bit of stuff left from this, which was Easter blessings. Looks like it originally came out in 2020. This came out more recently again than that and was offered. So I have a couple scraps from that to use. Otherwise, I have a folder here filled with some miscellaneous holiday stuff, and this is all non-creative memories items for Valentine's Day, Easter, whatever. So I have a few things out of here that I'm going to use as well. And here are my goodies. I haven't decided yet on whether I'm going to mat my photos in this or just use white. Because I do have quite a bit of color going on the layout. I think white might be what I go with, but I haven't decided yet. And here's my pieces of paper. So the original blog post for this layout, we're going to be creating a handful of strips of paper of a few different varying widths to put on our background page. So it's fairly straightforward. And I will say here, I didn't print out the blog post. I just kind of made a note of the different widths that it kind of calls for. I have to adjust mine. So here's my scribbly math that I did to create the layout because I want to have a full strip of these bunnies here, and a full strip is about 3.5 inches or 3.25, something like that. And the largest one that they had originally called for was 2.5. So I did a little adapting. I wanted to do just an inch of these eggs because it is quite bright. It is quite overpowering. So if I do a strip of 3.25, two 1 inch strips, then what did I have left? And kind of divide that amongst three different pieces of paper. And I'm just shy of 2 inches of each of the other colors. I could just do 2 inches, but it's just as easy to cut 1 and 15/16. It's just which line I'm cutting on the cutting mat or on the trimmer. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with this big piece here. I'm just using a white background because, again, I have a lot of colors going on. So we're going to start by cutting this strip. And the top and bottom ones are a little cut off, so I need to use one of these. And I think I'm going to use this one because it has more colors, and this one has two of those. I just want one. So I'm going to go with this strip. And I do know that between where the feet are and the ears are, it's very close. So I want to make sure to get a whole bunny. So I'm just going to bring out my sight guide. So I'm going to get a bunny. I might end up getting some feet, but I might not. So always remember, you do have these little sight guides for cutting lines that come out, and they store in both the top and bottom of your trimmer. So that's good enough. I missed a little bit of gold on that one. That's fine. And again, I think this was about, yep, 3.25. It's going to be a little less than that. Again, I want to make sure to get his whole feetsies. That might be good. We'll go with that. And there we go. So that's going to be my first strip at the bottom of the page. And this one did end up being a little less than 3 1/4. Okay, hang on just 1 second. Okay, so that's going to be my bottom piece. And in no particular order, I have these 3 other colors. And since this ended up being smaller than I anticipated, I'm just going to cut these at 2 and then just evenly space everything out. And again, I'm using a lot of papers that are just from my stash. This one is from the Creative Memories Easter Blessings, like theme kit or whatever it's called. And I honestly don't know if this is supposed to go this way or this way. I'm assuming this way because that's the way the flowers are on the other side. And then I've got some bunnies. And this has title boxes on the back. I think I could use that either on this layout or in the future. So I think I'm going to cut through that side. Again, just in case, I don't know, but we'll do that. Okay, so there's those strips, and then I need to use this very bright, which you don't need to, but here's this very bright egg pattern. Does not appear to be directional at all. I'm going to, I was kind of looking at the colors of this edge. So I need 2 1-inch strips. So it is very bright. I'm not using the large chunks, but I'm going to do 2 1-inch strips of this one. All right, now we assemble. Again, I haven't thought of which order I want all these in yet. And I think that might do. Usually in general, I like to have the darker colors, the darker, heavier colors at the bottom of the page. For some reason, I want these guys across the bottom of the page, which I could have them at the top. I don't know. I liked them across the bottom. But since I don't have this one at the bottom, I felt like at the top was a little top heavy. So I think I'm going to try and put it a little bit in the middle. Okay. And on the original layout, they did a 1/4 inch at top and bottom, and then 1/8 of an inch in between all the pages. So I'm going to try and do that and see what that looks like. Again, my paper widths are a little bit different than the original. So we'll see how it works out for me. And it looks like this is a piece of white paper from the top loading pages, and it looks like it's a little shy of 12 inches. So again, I'm working with that as well. So I don't think I can do a full quarter. I think I'll just space them all about 1/8 of an inch apart from top and bottom and from each other, and see how that works. And that works a lot better. So I'm just going to do them all 1/8 of an inch apart. I was debating on this one because it has a white background on a white background page, but I think it's going to be fine. And again, I kind of have the feet of the other bunny on that. It's fine. Nobody but me is going to care. And I'm going to use repositional, even though I have them fairly evenly spaced out in case I need to adjust or move anything. I can do that. So this layout is kind of great for whatever you need, whether it's seasonal, whether it's tonal, maybe it's monochromatic, maybe you just have a whole bunch of shades of reds or blues. This would be a great one for that. Or black and white photos. It'd be really pretty on like a black base page with some gray and black toned papers. Okay, and there is the majority of our layout done. Now, here are my pictures for my page. They're beautiful, right? So I'm going to have two 4x4s and a 4x5 that I'm going to put on somewhere like this. And I need to map my photos. And I had originally thought maybe bringing in some blue. So I have this scrap. I don't know where this came from. I think it was just from Hobby Lobby or something. So I thought about bringing this in, and I wondered if it'd be too much, but we'll cut it down and we're gonna see. Because it's, again, it's kind of a scrap piece of whatever paper. If I don't like it for this layout, we'll just put these cut up pieces back in my stash. So I'm cutting it to 4 1/4 width, and for my 4x5, this is 5 1/4. This is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. This should be now trimmed down to 4 1/4. Yep, and we'll do another one for the square. And let's see how that looks on this layout. So with the photos, it covers up a lot of the blue, so it's not too overpowering. And again, these are just photo placeholders, not my actual photos, because the photos are gonna take up too. So I don't mind that. I thought it might be a little bit too much, but I don't mind it. So what I haven't figured out yet is, again, I could cut this out. I wonder if I could cut it out with a circle. Because that could be cute. I like that. And then I have some stickers in this pack yet. Let's see, I don't really think any of these borders go great. Here's some bunnies, that's cute. I was kind of thinking of some of these words. I could keep this as a square and kind of have the words coming off. And maybe a flower over here. So maybe I won't cut it down. Let's cut the square out first and see how we like it. Because that would kind of offset this screen. Let's cut the square first and see. And if I need to trim it down, I can. All right. So I could trim a little bit off the top and bottom. And that kind of gets lost. I could add it to the photo. I could add some flowers to that. And then I was thinking I could add just kind of layering these. On the strip here. We could do something like that. I think I'm going to trim this a little bit smaller. So before my stickers stick and I can't move them, set those aside for a second. And we'll put the photos down as well. So for the most part, I think I just want to shift this over so that I'm even width-wise, and then we'll trim this down. So let's get rid of my photos. And we'll put my photo mats. And again, I'm kind of looking at the 6-inch mark and just kind of centering. And I do want these two kind of even on the page. So again, we'll look at the 6-inch mark. And I'm not being precise here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And then just making sure it's, for the most part, straight. I feel like my photos are a little bit, my photo mats are a little bit crooked. Those ones are straight. That one's straight. They all look straight, but they also look crooked. Okay, I feel like that's a little bit better. And now let's trim this down. And I just need a smidge, maybe an eighth of an inch off the top and bottom. Yeah, because I want to get rid of about a quarter of an inch. And I do see when I cut it out, there's a little bit of the other pattern paper on the edge there, so I'm just going to skim a little bit off that. And that's a little bit better. Okay, so there's that. Put that down and just kind of evenly spaced like the others. We'll add our little flowers here and our different little titles. Let's kind of space those out a bit. Okay. And then we'll add this little flower up top, and there is tiny little pieces in the center there. And I'm just going to add this here just for something. Now, do I have any other flowers? I've used all my eggs. I've used all the flowers. I thought of adding the basket full of love, but I don't really need another title anywhere. I think it's good. It's got a lot of pattern going on with the paper, so we don't need to make it too busy with a lot of embellishments, and the focus will be of the pictures. So let's switch you back over. All right, so that was our simple layout, again based on one of the Creative Memories blog post layout instructions. If you want to see more of these, make sure you follow my YouTube. You can follow my Facebook page as well. So I have a public group, Angie Erickson Scrapbooks, and I have a private group where you can share layouts, and I also post challenges, which is Angie Scrapbooks. So you should be able to find that. You will have to ask to join. And again, I post challenges and other tips and things in that group as well. It is just set as private, so that as we share different layouts and pictures, it's not out there for the public world to see. So yeah, I've enjoyed scrapbooking with you today, and enjoy your own scrapbooking. Happy scrapping to you.